You're watching 48 Fastcast.
All right, y'all, 7:01. Thanks for joining us for our 48 Fastcast.
Hey, yeah, definitely a foggy morning start if you're heading out this morning, but you definitely want to try to stay as safe as possible if you're on the roads too.
Yeah, don't drive fast to work this morning because the fog will slow you down this morning. Visibility is reduced to near zero. Madison, you can see the fog. Can't see Toyota Field, but it will be a lot better by the time the Panthers try to play later today into the evening hours, because by the time we get to this evening, the fog will have burned off and we're going to get plenty of sunshine. But it's a little tough go out there this morning. A lot of areas dealing with fog that's less than a mile visibility, and that will slow you down. Obviously, the headlights are on. You're keeping a safe distance between you and the car in front of you and getting to work safely from point A to point B. Once the fog burns off, sun pops, temperatures 80s to near 90. Fog will redevelop tonight, and it's still going to be incredibly muggy overnight with temperatures in the low 70s. But once we get through a foggy start to the weekend on Saturday, it's all about the heat and the humidity, where feel like temperatures for both Saturday and Sunday could be as high as 100 degrees, and I'll have much more coming up in your full weather forecast.
This is your 48 First Alert Road Report, sponsored by Bankston Motorhomes.
All right, here is a look from our Gunnersville camera. You can't see anything, so yeah, the fog very, very thick in this area. Just be careful. We are looking good in Huntsville, really across the board, but in the Henryville area, kind of coming out of Gunnersville, 431 northbound, seeing a slow stretch, and it does appear to be getting longer there, so just be aware of that. Drive times right now, Decatur to Huntsville will take you about 20 minutes. Athens to Huntsville will take you about 27.
Members of the Decatur community are coming together to honor a mother who was shot and killed last weekend. A balloon release was held Thursday night to remember 27-year-old Akira Harris. She was shot and killed on West Moulton Street early Saturday morning. Her good friend, Kalia Ford, tells us that Harris was a wonderful mother and a loving friend. Harris was in the process, in fact, of going back to school to give her daughter a better life. Ford was also planning on having Harris as a bridesmaid in her wedding before the shooting. Ronald Bland is accused of shooting and killing Harris. He's being held in the Morgan County Jail.
In Limestone County, a manslaughter suspect has been indicted. Jonathan Etter was charged with manslaughter after the death of 18-year-old Ava Bachnia. The Limestone County Sheriff's Office says they found her body inside his Elkmont home in April. Deputies also say they found drugs in his jail cell after he was arrested. A grand jury has decided to indict Etter on drug charges. He is set to be arraigned on August 6th. One person had to be taken to the hospital following a tubing incident on Cypress Creek in Florence. The Florence Fire Department tells us 5 people were riding on inner tubes yesterday when the water became hazardous due to all the rain. One of those people was able to get to shore, but the 4 others had to be rescued. Of those 4, 1 person was hurt, but they are expected to be okay.
An 18-year-old from Coleman has died following a motorcycle wreck on Wednesday. State troopers say the teen was killed when he collided with an F-350 head-on. Now, the teen was driving a motorcycle when this happened. The accident occurred on US 278 near County Road 400. That's near the Coleman area. Officials have not released the name of the teen. And newly appointed Marshall County Commission Chairman David Reed has died. Governor Kay Ivey appointed him just less than 2 weeks ago to replace former Chairman James Hutchison, who died in May. Reed's funeral arrangements have not yet been announced.
Well, construction is moving along for several Lawrence County school projects. Where they currently stand next on our 48 Fastcast. Well, students may be out of school for the summer, but that doesn't mean things aren't happening at schools across the Tennessee Valley. There are current construction projects at many campuses.
Yeah, some of these projects in Lawrence County have run into some construction issues, though. One of those issues involves an addition being built at the Tech Center. Now, right now, a water line is actually going through where crews are building that new addition. Now, Lawrence County school leaders are working with Moulton officials to fix this. Now, that is not the only project happening at Moulton Elementary School. They're receiving a new classroom building, which should be complete in the next month. Hazelwood Elementary School is receiving a new gym and storm shelter, which they did not previously have. Lawrence County Superintendent Dr. John Brett Smith says that these projects were a long time coming.
We're trying to do something in every community, and we're really blessed that we are not only adding educational facilities as far as like new schools, but we're also adding things to the Career Tech Center. We're making athletic improvements, and we just really have something going on in every community and all across the county.
And Hatton High School is on track to be complete to have its new gym by this October. And additional classrooms and training facilities are currently being built at the Career Tech Center. Jeff?
Oh, your 48 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist Jeff Denoyer.
Thanks, Jonathan. Once we get the fog burned off, the sun pops, temperatures take off. Upper 80s to near 90 degrees in the afternoon, looking pretty good. If you go to the Trash Pandas game tonight, they're going to win, and then you're going to watch a fireworks show afterwards, and you're going to do that maybe sweating a little bit with temperatures in the 80s falling back into the 70s by the time the game ends, taking on the Chattanooga Lookouts. Going to the weekend, first full weekend of summer, hot. You expect it to be in the mid-90s, feel like 100. Slight chance of a shower storm. And I want to keep emphasizing that because from about 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. both days with daytime heating taking place, you could have this little isolated shower storm. It will be brief and quick. Most of the weekend will be dry, and it's focused on the hot and humid conditions. That will continue for next week with temperatures in the mid-90s, but it gets really unbearable by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday when the humidity goes even higher. And unless you have one of those little 20% chances of storms, you're going to be sweating to the oldies all week long with the temperatures very hot and very humid. The longest stretch of hot heat and humidity we've had, obviously, so far this month.
All right, well, we're looking at some hot days ahead, so definitely make sure you're staying hydrated if you're going outside, especially some of the events this weekend. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Fastcast. We'll see you later.